Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. This week's guest is Kendra Ekelund, Managing Director at the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. Kendra and I discuss the festival's recent move, what to expect for the 2023 season, and the cultural and educational impact the festival has on the Hudson Valley community. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded video call between Kendra Ekelund and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You are listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's public affairs and issues program. We got a great episode for you today. This one's really exciting. You know, I get to channel some of my acting roots when it comes to this episode because we are speaking with the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. This is so cool. I've only actually gotten to do Shakespeare once, but it was a tremendous time. Right now, I'm speaking with Managing Director of Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, Kendra Ekelund. Kendra, how are you today?
I'm great, Connor. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be on In Touch, and I'm so glad to have the opportunity to speak with you and share more about the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival.
No, this is terrific to have you on today. I think it is really good, and especially probably really good to clear up some things for people who've been fans for a long time or people who are just now getting into it. You guys had a recent move, which we'll get into in a little bit, and I think it's exciting, everything that's coming with this move. But first of all, for people who have no idea and could really just use a good overview, tell us, what is the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival?
The Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival is a regional professional theater located right here in the heart of the Hudson Valley in Garrison, New York. We hire professional actors from New York City and beyond to come in and stage productions of Shakespeare plays, of new plays, and ultimately we are a theater that aims to speak to the present moment with classic text. We want people to understand that Shakespeare is relatable, to understand the messages that, Shakespeare is kind of this great messenger across time and space, where the themes of our lives, of humanity, of our shared human experience are universal and timeless. And it's just really exciting to see how people connect to one another through reimagining kind of how we think of classic plays. And we're really just excited to bring that here to the Hudson Valley community.
No, and that's really terrific that you guys can offer that. And I love how you mentioned the relatability and how, Shakespeare's work has been around for so long, but it still touches us in so many ways. I did Romeo and Juliet back in college, and before doing it in college, I read it in high school and I read some other works, and I wasn't a big fan at the time. I'll admit, I was just like, oh my God, it's just droning on. But the moment that I actually got an opportunity to act it out and be one with the text and one with the character, I grew such a huge appreciation for the work and understood the beauty, the poetry, the word paintings that you would come up with. It's incredible, and it's really amazing. It's one thing to read it, but it's another thing to act it out. It's another thing to see it. So that's incredible what you guys have here, and just how Romeo and Juliet was my first time getting into appreciating Shakespeare's. You have a bit of a first right now as well, I'd like to highlight. This is your first season as a managing director with Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, correct?
That's correct. I started in November of 2022 after 15 years with the Jacob Burns Film Center in Pleasantville, New York. I've grown up in the Hudson Valley. I grew up in Ossining, right on the river, and I have really dedicated my time and my career in the business of art, in the management of nonprofit arts and culture organizations, specifically to the organizations that are right here in the Hudson Valley. These are the organizations that give us incredible programming to enjoy on evenings and weekends. These are the places that make this such a great place to live, in addition to all of the wonderful natural resources that we have here. And I am really passionate about the arts organizations that are here right in our backyard and making them as good as they can be. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to return to theater, which is my first love. I also started my love of Shakespeare with Romeo and Juliet in high school. I didn't perform in it.
I love that.
But I read it out loud in class. And that has also, I think of that experience so often when I think about the education programs that we have as well, and how that is touching students in high school who are kind of learning this text, which feels like a foreign language. And once you kind of unlock it, once you kind of understand that we're all talking about the same thing, that all of these characters in the same situations that we're in today, even though it's 400 years ago and they might be describing things a little bit differently, they're talking about the same feelings, they're talking about the same thing. So this is just it's a very timeless art form, and I'm so thrilled to share it with the Hudson Valley community.
That is so cool. And I love the connection, Romeo and Juliet. I feel like it's a lot of people's first when it comes to it, but like it's really cool to be able to actually get to engross yourself in it. That's awesome that you got to experience that. So as I mentioned before, Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival has itself a new home. Before it was at Boscoville, correct? But
Yes.
Now it's in Garrison?
Yes, so it's in Garrison. So for the last few decades, actually, Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival has been in residence at Boscoville House and Gardens in Cold Spring, right on the Hudson River, with an absolutely stunning view of the Hudson River. And some of your listening audience is probably going to remember summer seasons at Boscoville in the past. The one thing that the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival has not had is a permanent home. You know, we've been a guest in someone else's home. And in 2019, a local philanthropist named Chris Davis approached the festival with an opportunity to be in residence at a permanent home at the Garrison. So it's the site of the former Garrison Golf Course. There's 200 acres there that Chris Davis endeavors to parcel and donate to convey to some local nonprofits, the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival being one of them. So this is now we're going into our second season in residence at the Garrison. And we've put up our iconic summer theater tent that many people will recognize in a new location. And what I'm so excited to share with you about the new location is not just that our tent is up and we're performing as usual, but that in a new home, when we're not a guest in someone else's home, we have the ability to expand our season a little bit longer so we can deliver more performances, which is really wonderful. And I really honestly thought that nothing could ever beat the view of the Hudson River from Boscoville, but I am so excited to tell you that the view from this spot in the Garrison is absolutely stunning. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So when you come with your pre-show picnic and your picnic basket, and people will understand this very familiar feeling of picnicking on the lawn before a show at Boscoville. That experience still exists, and I can't even put into words how beautiful the view is from this site. It's a northward view, Storm King Mountain and Breakneck Ridge in full relief, and it is just absolutely stunning. It gives you an appreciation of really the majesty of the natural landscape that we inhabit here, which is very much what the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival strives to paint against. You know, we are the natural resources, the natural landscape of this area is our canvas, it is our set, and that really helps enhance those timeless messages of relatability through Shakespeare, and ingenuity and creativity of the new plays that we bring. So it's an absolutely perfect setting for the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival's new home. I honestly couldn't imagine anything better, and I am so excited for more people to come out and see it this summer.
That's amazing. I really want to check out the new location now. I've been to Boscoville and it's gorgeous there, but I don't think I've ever been over to where you guys are at now. So I'm excited. I want to see that. That sounds really, really awesome. Now, one thing that you've mentioned is how you're able to expand how many shows you're able to do and expand your season. And I think that's another thing that some people might misconstrue. When they hear the word festival, they might think of a shorter amount of time, like a weekend thing, like a music festival. That's just over a weekend. But tell us about the actual time frame that your season spans and what you guys do from like a, monthly timely basis.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking, because you're absolutely right. A festival sounds, it has the element of seasonality, the element of temporariness. We're here. We are a year-round organization, and we present performances May through September. We start at the end of May and go through the middle of September. So this season we're performing 2 shows in repertory, which I'll tell you a little bit about later. I can't wait to tell you. And then we will close the season with a world premiere of a new musical that's playing for 2 weeks only. So
Oh, wow.
you have this really exciting season where you have a lot of time to pick your date for the 2 Shakespeare performances that we'll do in repertory, and then 2 weeks at the end before we close for the season. But what I'm so excited about for our new home is we will have the ability to extend a little bit into the school year, which means that we will have an opportunity for the first time to present matinees for student groups, which is really thrilling. To bring them to the site during the day, to allow them to see in person a Shakespeare performance, which you and I know to be a very life-changing experience, and to be able to give that life-changing experience to all of our local community students is absolutely thrilling. To give them the opportunity to see what they're reading on the page spring to life is really thrilling, and that's something that we're looking forward to in future seasons.
That's terrific. And kind of going along with what you said with, the landscape being a part of the setting and everything. I've seen Shakespeare done up in parks, like in the Capital Region when I went to college in particular. I've seen other works done. And you're right, it plays in so beautifully. So from an educational setting, whether high school, college, whatever that might be, I think that just adds an extra layer to the education that they get. And it's more than just that boring, it's like, oh, we got to read this text. It's like, no, it comes to life. It is real. And it might inspire them to do something, whether it's Shakespeare or another form of expression. I think that's like one of the most exciting parts about it. So that's terrific. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. We have been speaking with Kendra Ekelund, Managing Director at the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. And no, this festival is not something that just spans over the weekend. This is a year-long organization. They put on shows from May through September. They are constantly working to bring us some of the best content here in the Hudson Valley. It is an amazing tradition, and it's awesome to be able to share it with you guys today in this format. They've moved over from Boscoville Manor to now they're in Garrison. We've been talking about their new location, but I think now in the second half of In Touch, I think we should really hone in on what 2023 has to offer the community right now. You mentioned you had those repertory shows, and then there's a premiere coming up at the end of the year. Can you go into detail on what we can expect?
Absolutely. I can't wait to tell you about the season. I'm so excited for it. So we're going to start with a production of Shakespeare's rousing Henry V, which is one of the most famous, I hate to call it a war play. A lot of people think of it that way. But when we talk about the themes that survive through time and space, it's really a play, as my artistic director partner, Davis McCallum, likes to say. It's a play about leadership. It's a play about destiny. It's a play about so many things that are relatable to all of us. It's imagined in a totally fresh way for 2023, and I am so, so excited for people to see it. The next production we have is Love's Labor's Lost, which is one of the comedies, and this is going to be a rock and roll musical version that's going to be absolutely just a blast.
Oh my God.
Yes, directed by Amanda Dannert, who also contributed to the music, and it's just an absolutely fantastic production in incredible creative hands, and so excited for people to see it. That will be the lighthearted, fun musical offering for the summer. And then we'll close the season with a brand new world premiere of a musical called Penelope, which is a one-person 90-minute musical which retells the story of the Odyssey through the character of Penelope, and is absolutely just really special and wonderful music, original, brand new piece, and we're so excited to share it with this community before the world.
Wow, that's fantastic. And then with the musical, I've actually never seen or read that one, but it's going to be kind of like a rock opera, you said, huh?
It's a musical version of the Shakespeare play. Yeah, it's really thrilling, and you'll have to see it for yourself. It's hard to describe, but it's absolutely thrilling. It'll be really fun.
And you said with the music, how was the music organized then? Was that something that had already been done and using the scores, or is this an original score for it? How does this work? I'm unfamiliar.
It's completely original material, and I should say that now I'm venturing into playing artistic director a little more than managing director, and I really want our artistic director, Davis McCallum, to really speak for the selections and speak for kind of how these are created and envisioned and assembled. But I'm just really excited for your audience to see for themselves. We're going to be putting a lot of preview material on our website as we get into the rehearsal process. So if people are eager to kind of get a glimpse into what does a musical Shakespeare play look like, we're going to have a few sneak peeks and some really exciting things to share on social media to kind of let people know what to expect, and hopefully we'll encourage them to come.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out myself personally, because I am really intrigued by this concept. And of course, for those listening, we will have links associated in the description of this episode for you guys to check out after you are done listening, of course. And as things go on, you should follow, you should do all that. And then Penelope, that sounds really fascinating as well. Odyssey is a incredible story, very well known to, but to have that new spin to it, that's really phenomenal. And I'm really curious to see how that would come out. And that's at the end of the season, you said, the last couple of weeks?
It'll be the first 2 weeks of September. Yeah, just after Labor Day will be our opening weekend, and that's it. It's absolutely thrilling. I can't wait to share it with everyone. I also kind of have one more thing to share with you about the 2023 season, which is even a little bit earlier than all of the 3 wonderful productions that I've just told you about. Assuming that people can't wait and just really want to get out to the Garrison and see what it looks like and see what's going on. I'm really excited to say that we're partnering with a local organization called Processional Arts Workshop for an event on Earth Day, April 22nd, called Highland Lights. I think that some of your listening audience might be familiar with Processional Arts Workshop from the Sinterklaas Festival in Rhinebeck.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Highland Lights is, the theme this year is Ad Astra, and it kind of inspires us to look to the stars and relate to our natural world. So the Highland Lights Festival will offer a free community event, and I don't know about you, but as a parent, I'm always looking for a free community event on the weekends with my child, because those things can add up.
Absolutely.
So the whole community is very welcome to join us on Earth Day at the Garrison. And Highland Lights is also going to be prefaced by some lantern making workshops hosted and facilitated by Processional Arts. So not only can you come and enjoy this wonderful event for free and see this incredible parade of handmade lanterns as the sun is kind of setting over the Hudson River, which is just a thrilling experience, especially on Earth Day. But there's also the opportunity to sign up ahead of time for one of these workshops and actually make a lantern, which is thrilling. So if you go to highlandlights.org, that takes you to our website where there's a lot of information and even a registration.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yeah. It'll be a great way to lead into the season. I'm thrilled.
When in April did you say this is happening again?
It's happening on Earth Day, which I believe is Saturday, April 22nd, and please correct me if it is not.
I believe you're right. Quick look at the calendar. Here we go. And it is a Saturday. Beautiful. Yes, there it is.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled for people to come join us on Saturday the 22nd.
No, that's terrific. And you know what you're saying with having a family and doing free events like that, my folks growing up, we would go to lawn concerts and outdoor events and weekend fairs and festivals, always just trying to find that new, exciting, fun activity instead of just being cooped up on the couch all day. It's really exciting to get out there and to be able to grow in your own community. That is really necessary because, some people feel it's like, oh, there's nothing to do around here sometimes. And one thing, if you've listened to the show once or you're just listening to it now, there is so much going on.
There's so much, Connor.
There is so much. And it's one of the beautiful things that I get to do with the show is learn about it myself with everybody and get to share it and experience it all. And this is really amazing. And you kind of touched on this a little bit already going into, how it's helping out families with trying to have something to do on the weekends, how you can have the picnics, how it can offer this immersive experience. But I really want to hone in right now. What role does the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival play in community programs and education for the Hudson Valley? Kind of like, what's the legacy and how will that be played out moving forward?
I'm so glad you asked that, Connor, because the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival really aims to be an organization that's fully inclusive, that engages the community authentically, that welcomes the widest possible audience. And we want everyone to know that they're welcome and that there's something for everyone here. What's really exciting is that, as I said before, we'll be able to expand our season. We'll be able to do some new and different offerings. And then with some new space available to us at the new site, we actually have a year-round indoor space that we can program for smaller workshops, one-day workshops, teacher professional development. We have this great, wonderful program every year called the Bake Off, which is a community playwriting contest. And the winners of the Bake Off are selected to have a reading in this beautiful atrium space at the Garrison. I attended last year just before I started work with this organization, and I was absolutely blown away by the creativity that people put into these incredible, short one-act plays, both playwrights that are known in the theater community and in the local Hudson Valley community. So that's really, really a wonderful, wonderful way for the writers of the Hudson Valley to engage with a playwriting event here. And this is, of course, inspired by the great, great playwright Paula Vogel, who gives a few ingredients, quote unquote, I'm making air quotes over here, and inspires playwrights to come up with a play that involves some of these ingredients and create something totally new, something freshly baked. And it's one of my favorite things. It's a little bit of a quiet event to close the year, but one of my favorite events of the year. And there's so much more to come. We just can't wait to re-envision how we can serve our schools and serve our community with great programming as we settle into our new home.
This is truly really inspiring. I love hearing about all this and everything that's being offered. It's very grounding in a sense, and what a way to be able to really have access to creativity, originality, and just it's motivational to be able to see everything come together and be as strong as it is. I love that. I love to be able to grow all together, and it sounds like you are doing that with this program. Again, you were listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. We are speaking with Kendra Ekelund, Managing Director at the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. They have a lot of incredible things going on. Their season will be running from May through September, but that doesn't mean that they're not working year-round. This is a year-round organization doing so much for the community. Arts, education, so much. Their next big event, actually, right before the season starts, will be on Earth Day. Highland Lights on April 22nd. That's a Saturday. I got the name correct, right?
Yes, Highland Lights.
Fantastic. And we're going to have all the links in the description on where you can get information about it. But there's so many cool things that are going on. Kendra, could you please tell us where people should be directed to find out more information, to stay in the loop, to follow? Are there newsletters? What's the best way to stay informed?
The best way to stay informed is to visit our website at hvshakespeare.org, and all of our information is updated there on a regular basis, but you can also sign up for our email newsletter, which is the best way to hear about tickets going on sale, which just happened this Monday. It's still very early in the season, so now is the perfect time to get your dates. There's only so many seats under the tent, so if there's a date on your calendar that can't be missed, buy your tickets now, definitely. Get that on the calendar and get those tickets secured. And there's also Instagram. You can follow us at HV Shakespeare, where there's a lot of fun stuff happening. And that's where we'll share a lot of inside content as we get into rehearsals and as things start coming to life. It's a great way to kind of peek through the window at what we're up to, and we can't wait to welcome everyone this summer. I'll be there at the tent almost every night. People will probably see me standing and waving and welcoming people, and I can't wait to welcome everyone this summer.
That is so cool. I love that. And I love the behind the scenes stuff too. So I'm going to make sure that I'm followed by the end of this. I'm doing it right after. That sounds terrific. Kendra, thank you so much for your time. One last thing I got to ask, whether a person is not familiar with Shakespeare or a longtime lover, what is one last nugget to give our In Touch audience?
One last nugget to give the In Touch audience is, explore and attend your local arts and culture organizations, see what they're doing. There are a lot of wonderful, wonderful programs here that you don't have to travel all the way to the city for. There's professional theater, there's incredible art right in our backyard. This is a great place to live. I know I've dedicated my life to living and working here and making this a wonderful place to be, and I know others feel the same, and I just really invite you to come and check out what we're doing this summer.
Terrific. Kendra, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Connor. It's been great to be here.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Kendra Ekelund. For information on the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, Highland Lights, their upcoming 2023 season, and more, visit hvshakespeare.org. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. Thank you to everyone who has been listening to In Touch. Whether you have just found us or you've been listening for a while, thank you so much. We've seen a lot of growth in the last year, and we expect even more to come. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Townsquare radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. If you like what we do here on In Touch and want to be on the show, let us know. Whether you have a topic you want discussed or you want to be a guest, the best way to contact us is through our office number at 845-471-1500 or email direct to connor.walsh@townsquaremedia.com. I've been your host, Connor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time.